Welcome to the 5 for 2 podcast with me, your host Adele, where we say no to careers where you're trading 5 days of misery for 2 days of fun. A place we discuss all things career, confidence, and money moves. I want to motivate, teach, and empower ambitious women to achieve more, earn more, feel more confident, and enjoy the work they do. It's all about believing you can have everything you want in your career and then going and getting it. So if you're ready, let's get into it. Hello, welcome to episode 101. I'm going to keep saying the episode numbers for a while because I am gassed that we are now over 100 episodes. Like I said in the last episode, blessed, truly grateful that we're here. But yeah, episode 101. Let's get into it. Today I want to talk about promotions because this has been an issue for a few of my clients, and also often I get asked this question on Instagram. Whenever I do a question poll, people always seem to ask me about promotions or not being able to get promoted. Some people say to me they've been doing their job for like 10 years, 5 years, whatever it is, for a long period of time, and they've not been able to get promoted. But they get all the praise, they get told how great they are, but they get passed up either by someone else who's either less experienced or, let's face it, liked more, or they get told that there's still a little bit more that they need to do and they can't understand it. They've moved to other companies to get that promotion, but then got stuck in that company at that level, or they've tried to move to other companies and other companies, they just haven't been able to get to it. So I want to talk about the things that might be happening, why you might be struggling with a promotion, and the things that you can do to help get yourself promoted. So yeah, let's get into getting promoted. Let's get you promoted. If that's what you want, if that's your goal before the end of this year, let's make that happen. Because there's more than enough time. So to start with, I know that getting promoted can feel like an uphill battle. It can literally feel like an uphill struggle. Almost like you're trying to walk uphill and someone's pouring like hot lava down the hill, so you have to run away. Because you've been trying. You've done all the work, you're the hard worker, you help all your colleagues, you do all the things that you think will get you promoted. And I think this is really important that I said the word think, because a lot of people do the things they think will get them promoted versus the things that will actually get them promoted. We get taught in school, get the good grades, do the hard work, people will notice, you'll get a promotion. Reality is, if you work in corporate especially, you will notice that the people that are most liked tend to be the people that get promoted. That's the honest truth. How many of you got a boss who's not good at their job? How many of you have got a colleague who got a promotion over you and you know that you helped them with most of their work? Two things are happening here. Sometimes, depending on the type of role, management does include a level of relationship building. You cannot be a good manager just by being good at your job. You cannot be good in a senior role just from being good at your job. Being good at your job is just that, you're really good at your job. But will you be good at a manager's job? A manager's job is like being a parent of multiple children and having to be a referee. And I'm telling you that from experience. I've been in management since I was 20 years old. Actually, since I was 19 years old. On and off, but mostly on. And one of the things you have to be able to do as a leader is be able to manage a range of personalities. People that you maybe wouldn't naturally gravitate to in real life. People that you struggle to manage because their personality clashes with yours, or they're just a hard person to deal with. People that are sensitive, people that are really harsh. Just a range of personalities. And you have somehow got to make all these personalities cohesively work together to get one goal. One of the biggest failures I see of people that get promoted too soon or into the wrong position is because they think because they're good at their job, they'll be a good manager. And then they say, oh, but I've got the title, so everyone has to listen. That's not how life works. If it was, parents would never have to shout at their kids. I'm going to be real with you. If being a mum or a dad, because remember, I got the title, I'm the mum, so why are you not listening to me? That's not how life works. If having a title made people behave, police wouldn't be needed, because just being a police officer would mean no one would break a crime because they've got a title. A title really doesn't mean anything. So if you're relying on getting that title to be able to be a good leader, you're sadly mistaken. Like, I know so many leaders that say to me, oh, they don't listen to me. I'm the manager. They have to listen. No, people will listen to you when they respect you. People will listen to you when you're good at making them listen to you. People will listen to you when you're able to motivate, inspire, and create results that they want to see from a manager. Respect is earned. It's not just given because you get a title. It's not just given because you're good at your job. So that's the first thing. Being good at your job is not just going to get you a promotion. You have to be able to show leadership qualities, but also you have to understand, how are you a leader? What makes you think not only being good at your job, you're going to be able to train other people to be good at their job and they're going to be receptive? Because someone will say to me, oh, I think I'll be able to train someone. Do you think they'll be receptive? And the way you can figure that out is, how do your colleagues respond to you now? Are you, like, do people come to you and say, like, I need help, and then you're training them and helping them get things done? Signs of leadership. Sometimes we're already leaders without having the title. So have you started to cultivate your leadership qualities? And if you have, then that's not the issue. If you know that you currently motivate the team, you do all the leadership things without having the title. So you have all the responsibility. Because remember, leaders don't just motivate teams and build relationships, but they have to be responsible. They also have to be problem solvers. A leader does not need to know all the answers, but they need to be the person who's willing to go and get them. Some people will say to me, oh, that's not in my job description. Babes, that's not a leadership quality. Now, I'm not telling you it has to be in your job description. If it's not in your job description and you don't want to get promoted, keep moving like that. It's fine. Like, there's times when I'm like, it's above my pay grade. I'm not about to do things that are not in my pay grade unless I'm trying to get to the next pay grade and I'm trying to increase that pay grade. Then I will show qualities so that my boss can see I can do what's in the next pay grade. Pay me now. And that's what it comes down to. Promotions, because remember, we're not getting promoted without getting more money, because what's the point in having the title? It's on a very rare occasion where, if you know you're already leaving your job, it is worth getting the title, even if they don't give you the money behind it, because you know you're leaving and you just need the title so that you can have that title out in the job market. And then it's easier for you to secure that title in a new company. That's the only time you should be accepting a promotion without money. Realistically, it has to make sense. Every move, you know how I am, guys. You have to think 2 moves ahead. Every move needs to make sense. So your next move should connect to the next move. Don't make a move without knowing what the move after that's going to be. Like, when I got into recruitment, I knew that I needed 2 years experience to be able to make the money that I wanted to make. It didn't actually take me the full 2 years, but that was the plan. I was willing to take a slight pay cut to get to a much bigger jump than what I was on. Like, I knew after 2 years, I'd be on more money than I'd ever been on in my life, but I'd have to go through those 2 years on slightly less than I was on. And it was only a 4K pay decrease, which I then got an increase a month later. So realistically, I didn't really lose that much money. And I ended up in the first 12 months making almost double what I made in my old company. So having a plan is really helpful. So when you're getting promoted, make sure it's coming with a lot of money attached to it, because you're going to now have more responsibility. Like I said, you're now going to be a referee and responsible for other adults who cannot coexist sometimes, or who don't listen, who need someone to kick them up the butt and say, I need you to get this done. Like, leadership is that. Like, it's great to have democracy. Everyone should be involved in making the decision, but one person has to decide what direction we're going. One person has to decide what we're going to do. Because imagine there's 10 ideas. You can only go with one idea at a time. Someone has to be the leader to be able to make that decision. So those are the qualities you're going to need to be getting promoted. Are you showing your company that you're good at making decisions that result in positive outcomes? Are you showing your company that you can lead other people? Like, you can motivate and influence people to do what you want? And that doesn't just include your colleagues, also the customers. Are you influential with the customers? That's a great way to get promoted. Listen, sometimes the team don't even need to like you. If you are influential with the customers and you make your company profit, you can get promoted. I promise you. I promise you. I've seen people get promoted who have 0 leadership qualities, but they make the company a crap load of money. So the company's like, we don't want to lose them. Let's give them what they want. So keep that in mind and keep that in your back pocket. Another thing that may be happening is you're not communicating what you want. Have you told your boss that you want to get promoted? Listen, like I said, just working and doing the job well isn't enough. Sometimes you're showing all the leadership qualities, but you've not even told them that that's what you want. They don't even know. I remember leaving a job because I wanted more money. And when I gave my notice in, and I love my job, my boss was like, why are you leaving? And I said, because I want more money. And she was like, why wouldn't you just ask me? She was like, I would have given you what you wanted. How much are they paying you? I told her. She was like, I don't understand. Why would you not just ask me? You're great at your job. Do you see? So she knew I would deserve more money. But if I don't want it, why should she give it to me? Listen, she's saving her budget. I've learned in life, you can't expect people to want more for you than you want for yourself. I wasn't willing to ask for it, but I'm expecting her to come and tell me. Just like you're not willing to go and ask, but you expect them to just see the work you're doing. No, if you want it, go and ask. So in your next one-to-one, your next appraisal, talk about your next step. Tell them that you want to go into management. You want to go into leadership. Even if it's not management, you want to be promoted to the next role above yours. Ask them what you need to do. What are you not doing currently that they need to see for you to get there? Create a plan. Tell them you want that. You want to achieve that in the next 6 months. How can you do that? And that's a great conversation because they might say to you, listen, I don't think there's going to be a role in the next 6 months. Now you need to think, are you staying or are you going? What else can they do for you to keep you? Because sometimes maybe they can't promote you, but they can give you some more money. Cool. That might be enough for you. But if you want the title, you want the promotion, you want the responsibility, you want to be able to do something different, you're bored, you need to learn more, because that's another reason we sometimes need to get promoted. We're too good at our job and we need to move forward. Then you need to communicate it, have a conversation. So I want you to go and have a conversation. It's something really simple and it feels hard, but go and have the conversation. If you're scared to have the conversation, put together an amazing email explaining what you want, why you want it, why you think you'll be good at it, how you think they'll benefit from it, and then say, and I'd love to have a conversation about it. Because a leader who cannot have a conversation is a problem. I'm an introvert and I understand. I have learned to almost not fake it, but actually, yeah. I'm going to say this because I've never really said this before, but there was a point in my career where I was faking it. Like, I realized there were certain qualities I needed to have, extroverted qualities, to be able to be taken seriously in leadership. And I didn't need to change my whole self, but I needed to talk up. As an introvert, I don't like talking up if I don't need to. I don't want to talk about everything. And I still don't. If it doesn't concern me, I mind my business. However, if I know it's going to benefit me, I will turn that on real quick. I will talk about everything you want me to talk about because it is benefiting me. If I know that it's going to help someone else, because I have that in me, I like helping people. I like results. When you're a problem solver, it's almost like you want to help people. And it's crazy because I spoke to some of my other introvert friends and we all seem to be in people-facing jobs, considering we're introverts. HR, nursing, care. Like, why do we all work with people when you think about it, introverts get drained by people? Like, we recharge by ourselves. But having that helpful spirit sometimes means that I have to be able to turn on that. What people would class as extroversion, talking a lot, being a bit more outgoing, being a leader. Sometimes when I'm being a referee, I don't care. I just want to slap people's heads together. Lawsuit. Can't do that in real life. Maybe with the kids. Now I'm playing. But what I am saying is I have to be diplomatic. I have to take the time. I have to talk to people. I have to have meetings with people. I'm in HR. I have to do grievance meetings. I have to do a lot of talking to a lot of people. And you lot are probably like, Adele, you have a podcast. You love talking. I am a chatterbox. I will give you that. However, I'm a chatterbox with people I know and people I care about. It's very hard for me when it's a lot of people I don't know. I feel overwhelmed sometimes or intimidated. I was bullied as a kid. So sometimes when there's bigger groups, that feeling comes back. And I have to work through it. And then on top of that, I'm an introvert. So actually, sometimes it's draining my social battery to be out here and talking. But I know how to plan around those things as a manager. I know that if I have a day where it's very people focused, I've got loads of meetings, I've got to do a lot, I've got to be switched on, I've got to be chatty, I've got to be conversational, I've got to be confident, I've got to be all those things. I'll make sure the next day my diary is blocked out. I will put admin, I will put whatever, but it is blocked out. We are not having 20 meetings the next day because I already gave you everything I could the day before. I need to recharge my social battery. And then maybe the day after that, we can go back to meetings. So it's about balancing that introversion. But you will have to be able to communicate if you want to move up and get promoted. You have to be able to talk and open your mouth. So I am someone, as an introvert, what I learned to do was send the email first. And then slowly what happened was I started to talk first and then send the email to follow it up, because I tended to talk and forget a lot of things that I wanted to say. So I always followed it up with an email. And I'd be like, just to follow up, there are a couple of points I missed, and I'd add those in. And then I'd also revisit what we'd already spoken about just to confirm it. Because you know these people, they like to say that you never said certain things. So reconfirm what you already said and then add in whatever else you need to add in. I said a little bit earlier as well, being good at your job isn't enough. Sometimes being good at your job is actually the problem. Being too good at your job. I want a lot of you to understand that the reason you're being passed up for promotion is not because the other person was better than you, not even because the other person was the favourite, but because you are too damn good at your job and they will find it hard to replace you. The position you play right now, you are so good at it that they are scared that if they promote you, that gap is going to be so big that the chain is going to fall apart. You know that every chain in the line, like every cog makes something turn. Every person in the business helps. You can't have a manager without a good team. Like, it doesn't matter how you can promote the manager, but if you've got a crap team and the manager's not able to manage them and turn them into a good team, then it's not all going to work. You might be so intricate, in the part you play in your current team, they are scared that if they remove you, the whole house of cards comes crumbling down. So they would rather promote someone else and keep you as the person ticking over. I found that once when I was a deputy manager in a role, I was the gap between the staff and the manager. The staff hated the manager. The manager hated the staff, to be honest. I was right in the middle. Everyone got on with me. Manager liked me, staff liked me. I was able to bridge the gap. So they did not want me to be promoted and leave. So when I was trying to go for a management role somewhere else, they were like, nah, you're not ready yet. You don't have enough experience. You don't have this, you don't have that. I was ready. As soon as I gave my notice, suddenly I was ready. They was ready to give it to me because they was going to lose me anyway. So sometimes that's the issue. You have become so good at your job. And to be honest, that is what I see most of the time. And the person feels like they're lacking confidence. They're like, my manager says I'm not good enough. And actually, if you went and took yourself for an interview elsewhere, just go and do 2 interviews elsewhere, you'd get promoted straight away. People would be like, I don't understand how you've not been promoted already. Sometimes you really are that good at your job. And that can be a problem. When that happens, if you don't want to leave your current company, because sometimes leaving is the only option. They see you in a certain place and it's hard for them to see you elsewhere. But if you love where you are and you don't want to leave and you know you'll be great where you are, then you need to start talking about the fact that you're getting kind of bored where you are, you know, you can do more, and telling them how you think you can do more, why you think you can make a transition, and potentially talking about how you will help them backfill your role. I always do that. When I want to get promoted, I talk to them about how I can either train someone else, like I identify the person who should be in my role. Like I say to them, listen, this person's been doing really good. And I think if I was promoted, I could help this person to get up to speed to where I am and then move into the next role. Also, when I move into the next role, I'm happy to keep supporting in the role below me until you find someone to replace. So give them options, help them to help yourself. Sometimes it's that thing, like, let me help you to help me. Sometimes you got to do that. Make suggestions and show the qualities that you are ready for the next level. So instead of saying that's above my pay grade, make suggestions. Say to them, like, when you see a problem, instead of saying, oh, here's the problem and waiting for them to solve it, say, listen, I noticed that this was happening and I thought, why don't we try this? So I've tried it for the last couple of days and I think it's actually going to work. So do you mind if we kind of like think of that? Or if they're struggling with something, say, oh, I know you guys were working on XYZ. I had a suggestion. Tell them your suggestion. See if they go with it. If they do, that is showing leadership qualities. When you help someone else to achieve a goal, talk about it. Yes, I know it sounds icky, it sounds cringe. You got to do it. You got to do what you got to do if you want that promotion. But say like, oh yeah, I was helping blah, blah do XYZ and it actually turned out really well. I was thinking, why don't we incorporate that as part of like maybe future training? I don't know how that would work, but like I just thought I'd suggest it. Spot on. You didn't step too far out of your place, but you stepped far enough out of your place that it's like, oh, okay, she's showing leadership quality. So when you're too good at your job, you can get stuck, but you need to show them why you have the qualities for the next level. Like I said earlier, being good at your job isn't enough. And sometimes being too good at your job works against you. So start showing why to be able to keep you, they're going to need to promote you, but also how it's not going to be detrimental to them because you're going to help train the person below, but also show them why you need that promotion. You're bigger than where you are right now. Yeah. And if they are not, listen, if you go for a promotion more than once and they don't give it to you and they don't tell you why they're not giving it to you. If someone says to you, you're not ready and you know you're not, and you know you are, give them evidence of why you are. If they say to you, for instance, oh no, you're not ready yet, we need to get more experience. But you know you're helping senior staff. Say to them, oh, but I helped X, Y, Z to achieve blah, blah, and they're more senior than me. If I'm supporting senior staff, then I should at least be at that level or at least be making that money. It doesn't make sense to me. So can you elaborate? You don't have to be rude about it, but you do need to get answers. If they can't give you answers, then stop letting people play in your face. Sometimes the company is just playing in your face, leave. Sometimes it's a boys' club, sometimes it's a women's club, sometimes it is just nepotism. It is a club that you will never be a part of because the favourite is always going to get promoted over you. You deserve the promotion 20 projects ago, but they didn't give it to you. You deserve the pay rise 20 projects ago, but they didn't give it to you. Remove yourself. Sometimes you have to remove yourself. Sometimes the best option and the only way for success is to remove yourself and go somewhere where you're appreciated. But that's not always the case. Sometimes you haven't done all the things I've spoken about already. You haven't had the conversation. You haven't shown the leadership qualities. So you need to do those things first. You haven't suggested how to fill the gap if you were promoted. So that's also a sign of showing leadership because you're looking at the bigger picture. You're looking at the operations of the business as a whole. So you're looking out for yourself, but you're also looking out for the business. That's what companies want to see when you move into leadership. Remember, company culture like that's last but not least, but it plays a big role in everything. Do they network a lot? Do they go out to eat and stuff like that and you don't go out to eat with them ever? I'm not telling you to go out for every single work do, but you need to go out for at least one or two. Networking is key inside your job and for changing jobs. You need to network if you want to move up. You need to be liked. Your face needs to be seen. As an introvert, I know that can be super hard, but manage your energy, like I said before. Manage your time. Decide which ones you're going to go to and how long you're going to stay for. My biggest thing is I go to 2 out of 3. So if they have 3 things, I'm going to go to 2 of them. If they have 5 things, I'm going to go to 3 of them. So I go to more than I don't go to. I stay less time than everyone else. Every single time, I'm going to be the first to leave or the second to leave. I wait till someone else says they're leaving and they say, oh, I was just thinking of leaving too. And I go with them because then I went the first every time. But most of the time, I'm the first to leave. But I've done enough. Okay? You know that sound? Haven't you done enough? You know what I'm talking about. TikTok. If you're on TikTok, you know. Haven't you done enough? Anyway, but you know what I'm talking about. Listen, do enough and then leave because now you've done enough. Bye. Like, I will go there. I will say hello to everyone I need to say hello to. Have small talk. I do not enjoy small talk all the time. I do with people that I find really funny, but other than that, no. But I'll do the small talk. I'll talk to everyone. I'll show my face. I'll talk about what I'm currently working on, ask them what they're currently working on, share, maybe get some really good ideas. Sometimes at these work dinners or dues, we get good ideas. Find a little bit out about their personal life so that I can talk to them about it another day. Like when we're at work, I can be like, oh, how's your child? Or how's the dog? Or how's your mum doing? How's so-and-so? Like build a connection. It don't take long. And then I'm out the door. If we go out to eat, after dessert, I'm out the door. Guys, if you know me, you follow me, you know I like dessert. So I'm probably going to stay for all 3 courses. But then I'm out the door. We might all be walking and they'll be like, oh, let's go somewhere else and let's go get some drinks. On the way to drinks, I'll be like, you know what, guys? I'm actually going to go and jump on a train. I already knew I was going to jump on the train when we left the restaurant. I might not have said it until we started walking, but, you know, make it like it's the last minute thing. I manage my energy. And then after that work day out, because usually they do it on a Thursday randomly because you now want me to come in on Friday, I make sure I have meetings and stuff on a Friday. Or if I do have meetings in the morning, in the afternoon, if someone asks me to do something that's like more groupish and I don't need to, I say no. Because I've learned to manage my energy. I look at my diary. I think to myself, okay, am I going to be able to manage this Thursday networking or this Wednesday evening? No, cool, I'm going to miss this one. I'll come to the next one. I'll make my excuses and I'll be like, I'll make sure I come to the next one. You don't have to be at everything, but you need to be at something if that is your, especially if that's your company culture, because that's often how people get promoted, especially in corporate world. Also, at your company culture, have people been on top forever? Listen, if people have been in their job for 10, 15 years and no one has ever got promoted, you are not getting promoted. Those people are not leaving. Some people are not giving up their seats until retirement, unless you have a company that is willing to make a role for you and create a role. And that also is an option. And I've spoken about it before because it's happened to me and it's happened for some of my clients. If they love you enough, they may create a role for you. Like it's a made up role, but it's still creating a role and giving you more money. But if people are not willing to give up their seats, like pay attention to the culture. A lot of people will say to me, oh, I'm not getting promoted, blah, 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 blah. And then I'll say to them, is there a job for you to get promoted into? They're like, no, but because the people above me aren't leaving. Then how do you expect your company to promote you? They might think you're great, but if there's not a job to promote you into, they can't sack the person above you to put you into the role. Some people will not give up their seats. Pay attention. Favoritism, pay attention. Look at what's actually going on and accept it. So many times I hear people say, oh, but that's not fair. They shouldn't be doing that. But they are. Babe, we have to deal with the hand that we've been dealt. Things might not be fair. And while you're working on making things fair, you have to deal with what is actually happening. Life is not fair. The world is not fair. If it was, we wouldn't have all these wars, all this famine, all this hunger. We wouldn't have all these things happening in the world. So if life is not fair, if the world is not fair, why are you telling me that, oh, it's not fair, they shouldn't do that? They shouldn't, but they are. So if they are, now how are we going to operate based on what it is, not what we want it to be? And I'm going to say that again. How are we going to operate based on what it is, not what we want it to be? We may want our company to not have favorites, but if that's not the case, we're not going to change. You're not going to change your boss's mind. If they got favorites, they got favorites. You can go and complain to HR, but 90% of the time, it's built into the culture. I'm sometimes in HR, and even if I go and have a conversation with the manager, if the manager says he doesn't have favorites and says this is the reason why they've promoted the person, what am I supposed to do? Unless you can bring me evidence to prove that it's all a lie, and that can happen because that's happened before, and then that's a whole nother story. That's a whole grievance, and there's procedures in place. But outside of that, If someone has favorites and you can't prove without a doubt that it's favoritism, work with the hand that you've been dealt. It is what it is. Now, how do we win in a system that isn't fair? How do you win in a system that's not built for you? As a woman, it might be hard. As a person of color, it might be hard. As a woman of color, it might be hard. As a male in a female-dominated industry, it might be hard. Like, how do we deal with the hand we've been dealt? How do you work the system as it is? You cannot change the system unless you're in the system. So you got to work the system from the inside out. But also, you cannot work a system the way you think it should be. You have to work it from the way it is. Then when you get to a certain level, you can start to make it the way it should be. And I want everyone listening to understand that. Work with the hand you've been dealt. Deal with what's right in front of you. If things are not fair, level the playing field or remove yourself. But deal with what is in front of you. I hope this episode has helped someone. If you are trying to get a promotion, I hope it has given you enough tips and enough direction on how you can get that promotion and where you might be going wrong. If you've got any questions, drop them to me in the notes. There's a question box. Drop it in there. I'll respond. Message me on Instagram. I'll talk about it. I'll share a post. I'll talk about it live. You know, I keep your names anonymous if that's what you want. I don't share names. I don't share people's details, but I share the question because your question might help 20 other people. I promise you, what you're thinking that you're struggling with, there are hundreds of other people struggling with it. It just takes one person to ask the question. So yeah, go get yourself promoted. Go get what you deserve. Stop letting people tell you you're not ready. If they tell you you're not ready, let them give you a list of what you need to do to be ready. Don't waste your time. Yeah? Tell them, okay, what do I need to do in the next 3 months to be ready? Now go and do that. If after 3 months you do all the things, they say you've done it, but they say, oh, sorry, still no bueno. Remove yourself. Ask why, ask questions. Communicate what you want. Tell them in your appraisal in your next one-to-one, I want to be in management. I used to tell my manager all the time when I was a recruitment consultant that I want to be an operations director one day. Guess what? I became an operations director for that person. I went from recruiter to senior recruiter, from senior recruiter to manager, from manager to senior manager, from senior manager to ops manager, from ops manager to ops director. I kept talking about it. I was talking about it before I'd even become a senior recruiter because I know what I want. One day I want to be an ops director. And if you listen to the last episode, the one where I talk about timelines, I didn't say I need to be an operations director in 6 months or a year. I just said I want to be operations director. Whether that took 2 years or 5 years, I wanted to be operations director. I spoke about it so much and worked on it so much that it happened within a few years. Didn't even take me, I think it took me 3 to become the ops director. Maybe 4, but I think it was 3. I got promoted insanely. Like I've told you guys before, I got promoted 7 times in 4 years once. 4 years, 7 times. Why? Because I'm not worrying about the timeline. If it had taken me 10 years to get them 7 promotions, I still would have got them. The timeline doesn't matter. Decide what you want. Start talking about it now. Start sharing that information. You want to get promoted? Start telling your boss you want to get promoted. And pay attention to their body language and how they behave and what they tell you. If they're giving you lip service, you might have to consider removing yourself. Or is it that you've just gotten too good at your job and you need to change up the way you do things so that you can get that promotion? Anyway, wishing anyone who's trying to get a promotion between now and the end of the year all the luck in the world. And remember, we do not do promotions without the money to back it up. I'll speak to you in the next episode. I hope this episode gave you exactly what you needed and motivated you to confidently take steps towards your next career move. If you enjoyed it, screenshot and share it on your socials, tag me on Instagram, and come join my community of amazing women working on leveling up their confidence and career. Thanks for listening and see you next time.